What's up, guys? You know who I am. I don't know who you are, but in case I do know who you are, hi, how are you doing? Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the SST90, which is made by Luminous LEDs, or Luminous as a corporation, as a company, which is, as a caveat, or another throwback to the video I just made for about a few hours ago, about the Cree LEDs. But before doing that, I also want to talk about a cheap place, or a cheap way to get 18650 lithium-ion cells. Commonly, you'll probably see like a lithium-ion cell being in, like, for example, most of these flashlights. For example, here's a 18650 ultrafire cell. You see right there, 3,800 milliamp, which is actually BS because these are actually fake cells. These are fake batteries. I knew I was getting fake batteries, but it's the fact that I needed an 18650 size cell, so I really didn't care if they were fake or not, as long as I was able to get a battery that would work. I knew it wouldn't give me the right capacity as labeled, but they do their job. They'll run a light if I want to put them in a light, such as this Skyray King, which is right here. I'm gonna go ahead and actually pop this off so I can show you what cells I'm talking about. These blue ultrafire cells, you usually can get like a 10 pack for like 10 bucks, I think. These are fake. These are obviously fake because if you actually get these, they're very, very light, and about only this much is actually battery, and the rest is all just empty space and a wire that runs up to the top of that of the cap of the battery. And when you try to put these on your finger or something like that, usually they're balanced towards the end because the only part where the battery actually is way at the other side. And these are actually like hollow. So if I was to get this and actually like, see how it sounds different right there? And it does right there. It's because this part's actually all hollow. So these are shit batteries. But, as I said, they fit in there, they work, they hold power. But to get actual legitimate 18650 cells, you go ahead and get a laptop battery that's rated at like, that's around, I don't know what this rating was. 10.8 volts at around 47 watt hours. So get a pack like that, around that kind of that kind of ratio on the bottom of it, that you can see what kind of battery pack this is. You can just go ahead and pause the video if you want to get that kind of battery pack right there. Get them on eBay. You can get them pretty cheap. This one happens to have 6 cells in it. I'm working on 3 of them right now, and I'll go ahead and actually explain to you how you actually prep the cells. But pretty much what you do is you get some tin snips, or some dikes like this right here. That's my foot. Yes, I know. Get some dikes like that. Go ahead and just snip off the connections. Make sure you're being careful and not actually shorting out connections, because these little bastards will pack a punch, because they're got quite a bit of power to them. They can dissipate about like around 10 amps, or I think almost 20 amps each cell. So those definitely fry a bunch of crap. So don't be wearing rings if you're going to be cutting this stuff open. But you can see the cell right there. That's the cell size, 18650 GR. I think that number right there, the 1110, is the capacitance. I'm not sure, but there it is on the battery. So anyway, go ahead and get your dikes, and you pretty much just snip this off, or you can get a pair of pliers and actually pull this tab off, and then do the same with the bottom one. And then since these cells, once you actually take them off, they are flush. Like if you were to take this part off, the anode, I believe, if you were to actually take the anode and try to stick it in something, this is actually usually flush with the top of this battery, so it actually won't make connection with what you're trying to put it onto. If you look at this is not flush, the anode is actually raised. So you basically have to get the cell, and it sticks like a small flathead screwdriver in there, and just pry up the sides so you can get it like that sort of shape. See if it'll focus. Come on. There you go. So you can get it in that kind of shape, so you can actually kind of raise up the corners, just so it makes better contact on the actual side of the battery. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm just taking apart, because I actually want to get real 18650 cells that actually hold up to their capacity, or hold a higher capacity. So anyway, those are the batteries right there. That's this side project. Anyway, so what we're talking about right now is the SST90, or the SST-90 battery, which is made by Luma LEDs, I believe, or something like that. I'm not actually sure what the corporation name was, but go ahead and take this off. and I'll look it up. Alright, here we are. This is the Luminous. I got the name wrong. It's Luminous is what the actual name is right there. You can see. And they make cob arrays, mid-power LEDs, and then they also specialize in the discrete LEDs, discrete LED packages. And this is a discrete LED package. This is what these are called. The MK-R, which I showed you before, in this flashlight, is what is known as an array package, and this happens to be just one of these smaller ones. So the Luminous company produces what is known as the SST-90, which as you can see right there, which is a 70 watt LED. It's a 70 watt LED, but it's like the same size as this. That's a lot of power crammed into a tiny LED, and that's a plus, and it's also a bit of a negative. It doesn't really give me much of the description on here, other than the max luminous flux it puts out, as well as drive current. When I go down and actually look at the data sheet, it actually tells me that it takes quite a bit of power. If I go over here, there's a bunch of graphs and binning numbers too, as well as the CRI. But if I go over here and actually find the forward voltage, as you see right there, the forward voltage is 3.9 volts with a drive current of 18 amps. So quite a bit of current for such a small LED. Definitely gonna have some thick wires going to that. But so yeah, there's all the specs you want to know on it right there. But yeah, I'd say that is definitely probably going to be the biggest bang for your buck. You can actually purchase these LEDs on eBay for, it depends on exactly what you're looking for. You can get the LED package on the star, like right here, the star heatsink, as well as the actual driver that'll fit on the pill of a flashlight. If you got like a feed electric flashlight, like this for example, and you take it apart, and you should get the copper pill out of it. And the copper pill actually looks like this. Let me grab it. The copper pill, these flashlights looks like this, pretty much, and then the driver fits on this recessed area, I believe. And no, the driver fits. That's thermal grease. It's on my finger. The driver actually fits right here on this section, and the LED fits in this section. That's why it's got the thermal grease on it. This is actually what this LED is from. It sits right in there. So you can actually get a new LED packages that will fit this like a standard pill size. So you actually can retrofit like a standard flashlight with a much higher LED. Now the only problem is, as I had said before, with the MK-R, and that is you will have a lot of problems in terms of thermal management. You'll have a very hard time, especially with 70 watts, sucking that heat away. So you'll definitely feel it when you're screwing around with your flashlight. You'll definitely feel this thing get super damn hot because there's nowhere for the heat to go. So this is the kind of LED that I wouldn't. Sorry for that spinning action there. This is the kind of LED that I wouldn't exactly recommend putting into a flashlight, like a standard flashlight you can retrofit, unless that flashlight has some type of heat sink or something on the outside of it. And even then, it's highly suspect because that is 70 watts it's putting in there, so that's quite a bit of heat. There's not really much else on here, other than it just tells you the color temperature right there. It's 5,700 K, which is a daylight, or you can get in two different color temperatures. You can get in cool light too. So yeah, but also it produces, like I said, it's 4,000 lumens, which is freaking crazy. In retrospect, like say if you were to get like I'm actually even sure. Okay, here's something that I've gotten. For example, this is a Fayette electric bulb as well. This is 10 watts and it's 760 lumens. So go ahead and use that information for what you will. This puts out a shit ton of light, for lack of better description. And it's just it's a very cool package how it comes in so small. So yeah, that's what I've got to say. People might give LEDs a lot of crap, but because they're saying that they'll die out pretty fast. But if you think about it, a standard LED life, the actual emitter, the actual diode itself, the average lifespan is around like 22 years on most of them. For example, like if you get one of these kind of bulbs, it's like 22 years, something like that. That's what the rated life is. Now that's for the actual emitters. In terms of the driver and what's actually driving the LEDs, that's usually what dies. So that's pretty much the only argument people have for it, is that they're rated for such a long life, but then they die, and yeah, it's usually not the LEDs that are dead, it's actually the drivers that are driving the LEDs that are dead. For example, if you've ever seen like one of those crappy LED streetlights that end up flickering when they're only about a year old, that's because of heat, and it's because it killed the driver, not the LEDs. But that's for another description. So yeah, I definitely would say the LEDs are probably the future. I mean, they're not even probably the future; they are the future. They're essentially just getting better and better with every year, and who knows? It may be like a year or two. This SST90, which is probably about the highest rated LED of this package, of the discrete package, will probably be pathetic in comparison to other ones that have come out. So yeah, it's just a bit of an interesting thing just to look at. I mean, it's kind of cool how we came from these crappy little hi-hat LEDs with the actual emitters on, with the actual crappy plastic that they're actually made out of. Actually, it's probably around some type of acrylic or something like that. But it's amazing how we've gone from these to stuff like this, and then from this we've gone to stuff like this. It's a screw that just fell on this. But yeah, it's quite amazing, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on with them. So yeah, not much more to say, but comment, rate, subscribe. You guys really need to do that stuff, but it helped me out a lot, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.